Tuborg Christmas Brew Day, Julebryg Day, kicks off a 10-week series of festivities and social gatherings that last from November until the second week of January. This annual Tuborg celebration takes place on the first Friday of November in all of Denmark's larger towns. Because of this recently adopted and widely spread tradition, this day is highlighted in bold letters on the Danish annual calendar of important events. Since 1990, Tuborg employees have been arriving in decorated Julebryg trucks across the country or even in horse-drawn carriages within the cities, singing the Christmas brew song to the tune of Jingle Bells. They are frequently dressed as blue Christmas elves for this purpose. In selected pubs, they give away free samples of Christmas beer to guests to commemorate the beginning of their sale. Apart from beers, to give the festive atmosphere an additional boost, they also hand out souvenirs and blue hats dotted with white, which are the colors of Tuborg's Christmas brew. Christmas Brew Day is one of the most significant events of the year and a must-attend for anyone who enjoys the taste of cold Christmas brew and the warm festive atmosphere of the approaching holiday season. On Julebryg Day, Danes traditionally gather at pubs, bars, nightclubs, and restaurants, impatiently waiting to try the first sip of this year's Christmas beer. When the clock strikes at 8:59 p.m., Tuborg's Christmas beer is finally tapped. Wearing Tuborg blue hats, the assembled guests start dancing while singing the classic Tuborg Christmas brew jingle. In this manner, they welcome the beginning of the holiday season with a loud skål, cheers, and a full glass in hand. The first Friday in November also marks the launch of this year's Christmas Brew Day in Aalborg, which is traditionally celebrated with lots of beer in its pubs, and especially in venues located at Virgin Ane Street. This year, Virgin Ane Street was almost entirely blocked by the densely packed crowd of visitors, leaving little or no space to walk through it. And without a doubt, this is the most congested Christmas Brew Day I have ever witnessed. As you can see, because of the large number of people and the amount of alcohol being consumed, it is not recommended to walk down the street. According to the World Health Organization, Danes drink an average of 10.4 liters of pure alcohol a year. Especially on this day, partygoers get drunk very quickly, and Virgin Ane Street can get pretty wild. Having this in mind, it is not surprising that visitors are struggling across the overcrowded Virgin Ane Street until they finally manage to push their way through the crowd. Julebryg is a bottom-fermented Pilsner Christmas ale from Tuborg that tastes almost the same now as it did when it was first introduced in 1981. The beer has a distinct Tuborg flavor that distinguishes it from other seasonal beers. It is brewed with dark lager, Munichs, and caramel malts and spiced with licorice. Tuborg Christmas Brew contains 5.6% alcohol by volume. On the bottle, the phrase, Glædelig juledag godt Tuborg, is inscribed, which is a transcription of the traditional greeting, Merry Christmas and a Happy Tuborg Year. This phrase is the original artwork from a very popular commercial, which was inspired by a postcard from 1979. Tuborg's annual Brew Day is still primarily distinguished by this cartoon drawing. On Christmas Brew Day, the topic of snow is still ordinarily used. The snowfall symbolizes the announcement of the Christmas beer blizzard sale to eager party-goers, a long-awaited event at the beginning of the holiday season, which promises beer, 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 and more beer. According to traditional belief, temperatures frequently drop below zero during this time of year, when the first snow of the season falls. In the case that snow does not fall, which is becoming more and more common due to climate change, fake snow is pumped out to cheer everyone up. Christmas Brew Day is an evening full of festivities, joy, laughter, fun, fellowship, and Christmas cheer. It brings thousands of people together on the streets and venues across the country, where they can enjoy a very joyful atmosphere. This is also a great opportunity to meet and get to know people from around the world, toast to one another, spend time with loved ones, and share the first Christmas beer with friends and family. On the other hand, for tourists visiting Denmark, this folk celebration of Tuborg's annual jubilee offers a chance to experience Danish culture in a unique and joyous way. In spite of being available for just 10 weeks of the year, this popular Tuborg beverage is the fourth best-selling beer in Denmark. Consequently, Christmas Brew Day is the busiest night of the year for most Danish bars and pubs. Because of this, pubs and bars across the country get ready for the night by hosting live music, community gatherings, and other special events. To best match this yearly Christmas branding, bartenders wear Tuborg's blue tunics and hats, along with other Christmas-related accessories. The release of the Tuborg Christmas Ale is the focal point of all of this. By the way, the Danish brewing company Tuborg was established in 1873 on a harbour in the town of Hellerup, which is located north of Copenhagen. Since 1970, Tuborg has been part of the Carlsberg Group. Introduced in 1981, the Tuborg Christmas Ale is currently the most popular Christmas beer in Denmark. The best way to enjoy this dark, sweet and spicy ale is to drink it as a tap beer. The marketability of this beer began with a rudimentary animated advertisement screened in 1980 that portrays Santa Claus and Rudolph on the verge of becoming alcoholics. They follow a lorry loaded with Christmas beer through snow-covered roads and landscapes rather than perform their official duties. In spite of this initial success, the beer's popularity was only sparked by a 1984 commercial that featured Santa Claus chasing a Tuborg truck in his sleigh. This marketing campaign, in which Santa Claus prioritizes beer drinking over delivering presents to children, was such a success that it has since run, unchanged, for the past 40 years. This also can be interpreted as a parody of the everyday negligence of children's needs all over the world by various welfare bearers. This silent assumption of the role of Santa Claus by various caretakers, carers, and other custodians is actually the real cause of his alcohol addiction. In 1990, Tuborg began marketing the day on which they launched Julebryg as J-Dag. Julebryg Day, which means Christmas Brew Day, is the day Tuborg Christmas Ale is released to the market. The concept was borrowed from the Påske Day campaign that Tuborg was already running to introduce their Easter beer. As a result of this marketing campaign, Christmas Brew Day became a national event in the 1990s instead of a local event where people gathered in bars and pubs across the country to await the official release of Tuborg's Christmas beer. However, the Christmas Brew Day didn't always take place on the first Friday of November. From 1990 to 1998, which includes my time spent as a student at Aalborg University, the event was held on the second Wednesday of November. Tuborg Christmas beer was served 1 minute before midnight. Due to repeated complaints from employers and educational staff to Carlsberg that offices, Workers' halls and classrooms were either empty the following day or primarily occupied by hungover employees and students. Tuborg Christmas Brew Day was rescheduled to the first Friday in November 1999. Namely, a large number of students and workers either turned up late or did not show up at all after partying the night before. From then on, bartenders start tapping the Christmas brew at 8:59 p.m. In 2009, Tuborg Christmas Brew Day was moved to the last Friday in October. However, the following year, Tuborg Celebration Day was reverted to the first Friday in November, and it has remained unchanged ever since. Holding this celebration on Fridays allows its continuation over the weekend as well. Since this Danish tradition and celebration got so much traction, many Danish breweries have started producing their own Christmas beers in an attempt to capitalize on this country's widespread event and get a piece of this cake during the holiday season. Christmas Brew Day is celebrated by visitors of all ages in a variety of ways that are unique to this day. Visitors who have been celebrating this day for several years or for the first time are mingled, socialized, and united intimately with guests who were young when this Tuborg celebration was launched. Keep in mind, the beer has a unique place in the hearts of Danes since the Viking era, and has long since then become a tradition for Christmas parties and other social gatherings. To sum up, Christmas Brew Day is no longer just a marketing event but a celebration that has embedded itself into Danish tradition and culture, reaching far beyond being just Tuborg's Julebryg debut. It is not only about drinking beer here but also about togetherness, which gathers both young and old, locals and foreigners together. Moreover, Christmas Brew Day is not only celebrated in Denmark but in numerous countries across the world, including Germany, Iceland, Sweden, Romania, Japan, Serbia, and Switzerland, sharing the spirit and essence of this Danish celebration and Tuborg's annual jubilee with a beer in hand and a broad smile on their faces. Denmark's streets and venues are rarely quiet on the first Friday of November. This is a day when the rules and common norms of everyday life are suspended throughout the country. Tuborg Christmas Brew Day is particularly loudly celebrated on Virgin Ane Street in Aalborg, Denmark. The whole city turns into a, often inebriated, party, which gives guests an extra adrenaline boost on this special night. It is frequently accompanied by the festive Christmas brew jingle. In addition to locals, a large number of Scandinavians and visitors from other parts of Europe attended this year the Christmas Brew celebrations at Virgin Ane Street. The refurbished disco bar, P&O Trumpet, The Girl and the Trumpet, is the only remaining venue from my time when I was a student at Aalborg University. Among the venues that are currently operated on Virgin Ane Street, The Girl and the Trumpet could be considered a sort of Methuselah. In those times, this disco bar was the main gathering place on Virgin Ane Street in the evenings during the working days, open until late 7 days a week. And it was a very cozy one, a place to be on weekends too before you start a long night of clubbing at Virgin Ane Street. These days, The Girl and the Trumpet is open on weekends. The age limit is 20 years for entry on Fridays and 21 on Saturdays because this spacious disco bar does not aim at a young audience. Aalborg is also known for its diverse culinary offerings, which include both local and international dishes. The center of Aalborg is brimming with restaurants, taverns, and cafes, offering a variety of dining options for everyone's budget. A great place to eat at reasonable prices is Aalborg Street Food, located in the Festive district, which is close to the boat harbor. It consists of many small booths that offer food from all over the world. Aside from this, a wide range of events and activities is also provided there. Another attractive option to treat yourself to a large buffet of meals before visiting Virgin Anne's Street is the family-run Flammen restaurant on Aalborg 27. They have vegetarian options as well. But, as was already mentioned, Aalborg offers a large selection of dining options to satisfy everyone's taste. I stayed again at the Jomfru Ane Hotel. This is the best accommodation option for me to start and end my day at Virgin Anne Street. I saw the familiar faces of the hotel staff at the reception and lounge again. I hope you enjoyed this Christmas Brew Day documentary. Thank you for watching it.